Hello, viewers. A very warm welcome to all of you. So, in the month of September, the ONGC Foundation had received the CSRUniverse Social Impact Awards 2022 in the Skill Development and Livelihood category, and was felicitated for its exemplary work in this domain, with the aim of reviving India's lost handloom and handicrafts industry under a plethora of initiatives for the marginalized artisans of this country. And today, in our Leaders Talk segment, I am elated and extremely privileged to have the august company of Mr. Kiran DM, the Chief Executive Officer of ONGC Foundation, to share his valuable insights on the Foundation's mission and vision for a self-reliant India. A hearty welcome to you, sir.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure to be part of CSR Universe.
Likewise, sir, and congratulations again. I would like to congratulate the entire team of ONGC Foundation for the well-earned accolade and achievement. So, sir, moving on, we are well aware that our current Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, has revived the Gandhian ideal of Swadeshi through the Vocal for Local and Made in India campaigns and mission. And with that, the current government is also encouraging self-reliance or Atmanirbharta, which has opened up many opportunities for our local artisans, especially those who belong to the most marginalized communities. And this has gained momentum, especially during the pandemic. So how is ONGC Foundation working towards accomplishing these goals? And please elaborate on the various initiatives that you have undertaken and what is the goal and mission of your organization.
See, if you really look at, I would start with the backdrop of how the pandemic affected all of us. And then there are a lot of chaos at all sectors. It affected almost all the sectors, and everybody was running in the relief mode, what to do, how do we support each other. So last 2 years has been really a kind of a firefighting thing, and ONGC as during that time we have done a lot of relief work, whether it is started with supplying of hot meals during the migration of labor that started, to setting up of PSA plants and in various hospitals and giving ventilators, ICU, neonatal ICU beds and those kind of things. But when we were doing all this, the other challenge that also struck us was that a lot of people who have gone from cities back to their own villages were of two minds, whether to go back to cities and assume their jobs, or should they settle down back in the villages. So this was a kind of a thought that was there in the minds. We did a small survey also to understand the psyche of what are the thought process. And then we decided, okay, if there is opportunity for them to have a sustainable livelihood in the place where they have gone back, they would not want to go to cities. Is a thing we got to know. Then what we did is we looked at this one side. We are having a compelling force that we need to look at how do we get into the entire Atmanirbhar Bharat, how do we create the economy which will have a grassroots level based economy so that it doesn't crumble with world dynamics. So when we started looking at this, we felt the second biggest market or the sector which was handicrafts. Next to the agriculture, the next important rural-based economy is handicrafts. That's when we felt, okay, now if we are really doing this, then we should work with encouraging people to go back to their roots. So we selected a few of these handicrafts. For example, now we started with Shiv Ganga in Jabua district of Madhya Pradesh. Right. Which is a completely tribal district. So we said, what is that they were doing and what is that they can do? And bamboo is something which they were working with. So we started working with them, and we said that we will. It was a 100-day training, and it was
Okay.
not only a training, but from training we started, and then we supported them for entire 1 year.
Okay.
So it was one. See, generally what happens, many people just do training and then they kind of
Exit.
move out, exit. But we said if we do that, it's not going to benefit. We have to make it a sustainable model, which means we supported them with the raw material cost and also the equipments what is required for the first 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
And then what we said, see, the moment you sell this, you get the money. That will become your working capital for the next year.
Right.
Some part of labor was also given by us when they
Okay.
were working. So
Okay.
this way we created one in Jabua, then one in Shivsagar and Assam.
Mm-hmm.
Then we did one in Chamoli
Mm-hmm.
in Uttarakhand. Then we did one in Bangalore with challenged children, not children, adults, young adults.
Okay.
This was a specific thing which we started with challenged young adults. Then we also did one in Kuti district, Jharkhand, for LAC initiative,
Okay.
LAC bangles and LAC materials and things. So
Mm-hmm.
like that, we started working with this sector because we felt one, unless they have the sustainable income, they will have to look at alternatives, and alternatives in villages are not there, so they'll have to come to cities.
Right.
And then when they come back to cities, also it is not that they will flourish. Many a times their living conditions are so bad because what they earn is not going to suffice.
Right.
And when they want to go back to home for a visit, they actually take loans from others to go back.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're going back, you need to show that I'm doing well. I will have to buy few things to all my relatives and family.
Right.
So this it's a virtuous cycle.
Hmm.
You're earning, then you're having loan, and then you are spending. Whereas if
Pending.
you're there in your own place, village, your half the money what you're earning is more than sufficient for a fantastic lifestyle. So
True.
with this in mind, we said we will have to create those opportunities. And handicraft we chose because it's also going to help them to connect with roads. See, for example, in Odisha, Dean Canal district, we
Mm-hmm.
identified families which were for many generations working with Dokra arts,
Hmm.
but who had left that art because they were feeling it was not worthwhile.
Mm.
So we went with them again in 3 villages. We have now there are about more than 60 families in each of those villages
Right.
who have been brought back to the Dokra art.
Okay.
And we are also supporting them with the marketing channels.
All right.
In the last 1 year, the ONGC, when we had to some gifting and all, we brought from these people.
Okay. Amazing.
So that way, what happened? It was a kind of circular economy. We supported them, then we also procured from them and distributed. We did a last year Diwali. We gave a gift hamper of all these six different handicraft material and sent it to different directors of other PSUs. So that way, we showcased what is that we are doing on ground, and we also requested if you want to buy something, please buy from them.
That's amazing.
So that's a kind of a thing we are trying to do and connect. So this particular handicraft
Hmm.
is very close to my heart, and we are doing it really good. And this initiative is as part of Azadi Ka Amrutotsav. So we kept that as a motive, and we said we will do some activities around that.
That's really great, sir. So now, like you were talking about, we observed that ONGC Foundation is particularly, focusing on Northeast India and the remotest belts of India, and especially the tribal communities. So,
Right.
was there any kind of study or research that was undertaken to identify these affected communities? And also, what kind of local art or handicrafts are you looking at reviving with your projects?
See, if you really look at, we are working with 20 aspirational districts,
Right.
which has been given to us. So in the 20 aspirational districts, now almost about 16 districts are tribal dominant.
Okay.
So we have been working with them. We understand what is the requirement there and done. And because our operational area also falls into these northeast and these places, na? There is a history of working with these people.
Okay.
So we really understand. For example, let's see this in Assam, the water is in. We supported one project wherein they create a lot of baskets and I mean it's look like cane, but it is not cane. It is made out of water resin, and this has huge potential in Europe. There's huge market, and we have supported them to market there and sell. So one, it is cleaning the lakes, clearing the water resin from the lakes, the creepers which are grown there, and cleaning the sludge. And it is dried and it is converted into something useful and creating a livelihood. So if you look at, we are supporting the environment because new fresh water will come. And this is a every year phenomena because it will grow there. So you pick it up and allow the fresh water to come all the time. So one, the water table doesn't go down. The second thing is this is creating a livelihood opportunity for people there. So that is how we are trying to look at how do we, when we do something, it should relate to the roots. Dokra, I said again, that is a trade which they were doing earlier, the art. Again, if you look at Assam, we have also supported one other project where cotton and muga silk weaving. Okay. We have supplied, I mean, we have trained 60 women and then we have given about 20 looms, big looms. So they in cluster of 3 to 4 will work on one loom to create the material, which is getting sold. And muga silk, typically the sale of a sari is about 50,000 plus. Right. Sari. Right. So it takes about 7-8 days for them to do one sari. I mean, 15-20 days to do one sari. Okay. They also get good labor out of it, and we are creating that market support.
Okay, great. So your projects are basically also very ecologically responsible and sustainable.
Yes.
That's very good, sir. So we were talking about that, skill development and livelihood CSR will become more meaningful only when these communities are provided with market linkages.
Right.
What all are you doing in that direction? And are you also using e-commerce platforms to, sell the products, or do you also engage in organizing exhibitions to display and sell their products?
Yeah. See, what we did is when we started working with these various handicraft projects, we realized what you exactly said, that market linkage becomes an important activity. But we also understood that they may not have that kind of a capability.
Yes.
So what we did is the program was designed in such a way that if there are 60 people, there will be at least 1/3 or 25% of the people who will be also trained with entrepreneur skills. We'll identify them and do it.
Okay.
And support them in digitalizing and all those kind of things. So that is anyway part of the program. But we also created one strategic intervention fellowship. So what we are doing is we have hired some 10 fellows.
Okay.
Three of them from design schools.
Okay.
3 of them from product development background. 3 of them from marketing. And 2 of them from merchandising.
Okay.
Now, what these people are doing is they are working with these organizations to create the marketing collaterals. For example, a brochure is prepared, a website is going to be created. We will upload them onto the Amazon and other platforms. We are also looking at how do we link the merchandising or the buying houses with these people so that they can get a perpetual market.
Okay.
One is individually we are supporting them for online presence and things. Other one is we are also looking at what production they should make, which will be useful for a bigger buying house.
Okay.
So this particular intervention, we have taken this 10 fellows for 1 year. They are going to completely be working with these organizations.
So have you tied up with any particular brands who are, who promote the ethnic and tradition?
We are in the process of doing that.
Okay. Okay.
During
Also,
the festival.
that you were
And
talking.
exhibitions, we did one exhibition in our own office
Mm-hmm.
on the CSR day. June 1st is celebrated as CSR day for ONGC.
Okay.
And during that, we had invited all these organizations to put up stalls. And
Mm-hmm.
all the organizations who had put up the stalls, now, they exhausted whatever they had bought. The sales happened from the employees itself. The employees were so feeling so nice about all this. No, they procured.
Mm-hmm.
So that way, and we are also planning one more exhibition in Delhi for outside people, general public, and one in Mumbai.
Okay, sir. So I don't know, it has been an observation that many a times in exhibitions there are middlemen involved. And
Hmm.
these artisans, because they don't have the technical know-how and they don't know how to, sell their products or market their products and even cannot handle the finances. Do you think there are challenges in this domain,
So there are huge challenges. There are huge challenges. See, I'll tell you, when we brought these people to our own exhibition, we didn't support them in terms of any costing, pricing, or anything.
Okay.
We just wanted to also observe and feel how they would sell their products. So
Mm-hmm.
many of them, it was like when the first day they had displayed Dokra arts, everything, and somebody used to ask, they used to say, this is 200, this is 100, and kind of.
Right.
And when the demand started, the same product was sold for 250. Some products were not going, they said, this will give for 150, kind of things.
Okay. Okay.
So this dynamics we were observing, because we also wanted to see if we try to teach them without experience, they will not learn.
Hmm.
With their own experience, then we said this is how this could be done. So pricing is an important thing, and packaging, that
Okay.
is also very important thing. We Indian Institute of Packaging, we have tied up with them to create packaging things for these people.
Okay.
So when we talk about this entrepreneurs, what we are talking now, we are going to have a 4-day workshop for these tribal entrepreneurs, wherein
Okay.
we will train them on how to market, how to stick on to price, what MRP means, how
Hmm.
do, if they are going to export, what are the things that they should know. And in
Right.
each of these places, we are trying to create a small organization which will anchor them.
Okay, sir.
So that is a plan so far.
And so, what about the procurement of expensive raw materials and even taking bank loans? So, what are the challenges in those areas? What have been your observations and thoughts?
So far, because the first year we are funding everything, there is no challenge of thing. But we are also in the same, when before we hand or exit from the project, we
Hmm.
are trying to work with them to create the capital, working capital issue.
Okay.
We are trying to tell them that Mudra loans are available for you people, and we will support you in terms of documentation.
All right.
You need to work on it and take it up. So everywhere we are looking at one or two people who will be the kind of linchpin, so
Okay.
that they anchor the others.
Okay.
We are I mean, immediate concern is also is that maximum money should be got to these people who are working,
Right.
and not to the people who are just middlemen.
Right. Right. So,
Middleman is adding value, that is fine. If they are not adding value, then that doesn't make sense.
also, so we have seen that there is the absence of market intelligence, as we were talking about, and a poor institutional framework. How can CSR corporates, especially, turn this around, and what kind of interventions can you recommend to the CSR industry to democratize the process, the access to the markets for these people?
See, if you really look at CSR, as I mean, various organizations are working in silos.
Yes.
And whether it is an aspirational, tribal, wherever we are all working with silos, and we are only worried about silos and our brand kind
Yes.
of approach.
Yes.
My suggestion would be that in some of these places, for example, there are many organizations who are supporting handicrafts.
Hmm.
Not only ONGC, there are many other organizations which are doing.
Yes.
Can we create a marketplace for these players? So that it becomes easy for these people, we can onboard all these people to the same marketplace, and then it can be easy. So this is something we need to look at. And CSR generally looks at kind of fund 1 year and then kind of exit. My own feeling is unless we handhold them for a couple of years, and every year the intervention or the funding should be for a different value chain. First year, if you're doing for training and procuring of material for them, second year it should be more on marketing.
Yes, right.
Because they would be trained, they would know where to procure the material, and the first year working capital should help them to procure the material and take care of the labor part. But the lacuna will be in the marketing. So second year will have to be on how do we market this. And the third year we should look at it, how do we get ideas from market to incorporate into their product development.
Right.
Because see, Dokra, if you look at, no, it's a artifact. I will buy 1 piece, 2 piece, 5 piece. After that, I will not keep on buying every year.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But if you are able to make, for example, door handles and those kind of few other things which can be used in a house, people will start looking at, see, today, even interiors of a house is all thematic.
Yes.
So if you are looking at an heritage kind of a housing thing, then Dokra will fit in like anything.
So architecture could be one space.
Yes, yes. So we are trying to look at how we will involve the Institute of Architecture to come and participate in these exhibition and have an involvement with these product design people, so that they will also tell us what if you produce these, this has more market. So I'm already in touch with the chairman of Architect Association, Indian Institute of Architecture, on this particular thing.
That's amazing, sir. So this is the work you're doing for the Indian market, and you were saying that there is a demand in many European countries for this kind of work. So what is ONGC? What is it planning to do? ONGC Foundation planning to do to make local go global? Are there any plans?
We are working on it, and it's still in a nascent stage, because if you have to sell anything to the global market, the quality and production capability should be strengthened.
Right.
Since this is the first year of this, I don't think we are ready to take it to the global market as of. It will take a maturity of maybe another 1 year, 1.5 years. But meantime, what we are trying to do is we are trying to locate. See, many of these Western countries in Europe and also in America, Canada, there are a lot of household entrepreneurs.
Okay.
VCs who have gone there and who are sitting there, they procure things from various handicrafts from the weavers and things, and they sell it in their own circles.
Right.
So it's a big group and a big market.
Okay.
So we are trying to see how we can target those people, because their demand will be less. They will not ask for 100 pieces. They will ask for 10 pieces.
Right.
Right. People also can be, for them, it becomes easy to make those 10 pieces. So that's how we are trying to tie up, so that they also give the ideas of what kind of colors, what kind of designs saree they would require, so that these people will produce that and sell.
Customize it and send it.
Yeah. See, one thing what I've understood when we studied a little deep into this entire market perspective, the European and the European market is looking at something very kind of boutique made, specially made for me. They are not looking at a Me Too kind of a product.
Okay.
So if you make a particular design and say, okay, this is the design, this is the cost, and we will deliver in 3 months. There are people who are willing to invest, pay the money and then book the order. So we are trying to address those kind of things, because then it becomes easy for these people also. Because you produce something and if you're not able to sell, that becomes an issue.
Yes.
So, but you already have an order in place and then you are producing, then life becomes very easier. So we are trying to see those kind of connects.
So what kind of channels of communication are you seeing? Is there an online platform, or are you reaching out through newsletters, or what exactly are you doing?
We are using, see, one is online presence of all these people are going to be there, and that we will rigorously market. We are also trying to work out with people who are having high followers in the social media and try to seek their support.
Okay.
For example, in Odisha, we will find out celebrities who are willing to become brand ambassadors or promote these products through their sites.
That's
Those
great.
kind of things also we are trying to do. And second thing is we are also looking at getting this. There are various organizations in US and Europe, for example, language-based organizations. There is Hindi Association,
Mm.
Kannada Association, Telugu Association, and those kind of things. So we
Mhm.
are trying to talk to them and ask them to circulate these product list into their membership.
Okay.
And that's how we get the list of the entrepreneurs who are interested, small entrepreneurs. So this today, if you look at Indians are there everywhere.
Yes, that's
If
right.
your product quality is good, na, these people will become ambassadors, then because there is money for them also in that. So
Right.
it will pick up.
Wow. So, and so if you talk about your partners, what kind of collaborative mechanisms do you follow to engage your partners and assist them with the requisite resources and technology?
See, I mean, for various projects, we identify partners in a different ways. If you look at the gamut of our activity, we
Mhm.
do some two, three kinds of activity. One, where there are certain government schemes and government recommended programs which we will support. That is done in a different way.
Okay.
That we'll use the government channels to work on that.
All right.
The second one is there is a reactive CSR is what we call, wherein there will be a lot of organizations will come and seek funds. So
Okay.
if they are aligning with our strategy of CSR and then it is making sense, then we evaluate and we fund few of those projects. But the question you are asking will apply for the third category of projects, which are proactive CSR.
Mm-hmm.
We look at, okay, in this area, we need to do this particular intervention. For example, our focus, if you look at health, education, livelihood, environment. So we look at designing projects.
Okay.
Handicraft projects is also designed by us. It is not that partners came and asked us to fund and we have given. It's not that way.
Mm-hmm.
We went into the depth of understanding what is the requirement in that particular area. Will
Mm-hmm.
it really be sustainable?
Mm-hmm.
And looked into those kind of things. So when we look at a partner, we
Mm-hmm.
also look at one is their capability, current capability and potential to grow.
Okay.
If they have the intent, then the skill can happen. There are some organizations which are ready to do any kind of projects if fund is given.
Okay. Yeah.
We are not very keen to work with those kind of things because they don't have a passion for anything.
Right. Right.
Are more of a implementing partners. So those kind of things will be good for some projects, but for
Not
transformation kind of projects, you need to have the partner who is also passionate about those things.
exactly.
See, we are now working with facelifting of 75 Anganwadis in some I think three, four states.
Okay.
Now we have identified a partner who is from Jharkhand, who is also passionate about this.
Hmm.
Because this Anganwadi involves two things. One is the health part, which is the major thing for children and also the lactating mothers and the pregnant women.
Mm-hmm.
Unless somebody knows that particular area, that domain,
Hmm.
and who are passionate,
Hmm.
you cannot go. I mean, if you give it to somebody else, they will do some painting, and do it. But we are looking at integrated model. And for example, now when we sat with this partner, we also said them, can we look at a kitchen garden for the pregnant women?
Okay.
And then we came out with an idea of seed calendar. We will give them a seed calendar, packets of seeds, and tell them which months they have to sow.
Okay.
And these are all vegetable kind of thing, greens and vegetables, so that it becomes easy for them to take it in next 15 days, 1 month, 2 months, and eat, which
Mm-hmm.
will also help them as from a nutrition point of view. Because the
Amazing.
government is doing a lot of supplement and all that. We
Yes.
should not do the same thing what government is doing.
Exactly.
We should look at what are the gaps and see how we can support. Now we are trying to work with one other organization. See, one of the other problem when we work in the tribal belts in
Mm-hmm.
Anganwadis is
Mm-hmm.
when children go from Anganwadi to the regular school,
Mm-hmm.
and many times the tribal language will be different from the state language.
Yes. Yes.
So there, what happens? No, the child when he goes there, suddenly the teacher is talking in a state language which he doesn't understand.
Yes.
So the child is kind of becomes dull and then gets into a shell, and after some time stops going.
Hmm.
We did a survey to understand the enrollment ratio is pretty good, but the dropout is also happening in the first 2 years itself.
Mm-hmm.
There is another partner we found who has developed a curriculum for the first 2 years in Anganwadi.
Okay.
And this is more based on music and songs and dance and action games and those kind of things. And slowly what they are doing, they are teaching it in the local language.
Which is okay.
So when the child is coming to Anganwadi, he is learning these games and these songs, and it's all very so much rhythmic.
Mm-hmm.
Tribal area, children also are used to that kind of rhythmic things.
Yes.
So the children automatically learn. They sing, they dance, and when doing this, they are learning the state language.
That's
So when
amazing.
they go to the school,
Yes.
they are able to comprehend, and the interest continues. So
Yes.
now we are working with this organization to support in our 75 Anganwadis.
Okay. Okay.
So that way we are we look at the strength of various people and see how does one project may have multiple partners, and that's how we look at it.
That's amazing, sir. So it's very important to customize these kind of interventions, look at the needs of the community, and then develop and implement projects. So, sir, what are your thoughts on the current scenario, and what changes would you like to see to revive, especially the lost art and craftsmanship, and make India a self-reliant country economically?
See, if you look at from the market perspective, India itself is a big market for any kind of handicraft, and global market is all looking towards India for different products. So the question is about not about the market, but the question is how do we make this an industry? Today,
Right.
what is happening? Everything is happening in bits and pieces like pray and spray.
Mhm.
Some organizations support something. There is a cluster of some 40, 50, or maybe some 2, 3 villages, and they do it. So that doesn't give them the scale to market.
True.
So if you are able to create a few districts, because these are all related to a particular location.
Hmm.
The Dokra
Yes.
art of Odisha is different from the Dokra art of Chhattisgarh. So
True.
what is done here is different from there. So,
Mm-hmm.
so that way, so if we have to create these kind of clusters and support the cluster development rather looking at it from a small piece of product. And these clusters, how can they come to a hub which can have a same selling platform? So TriPad is trying to do some of these things, and we are also trying to see how we can connect with them. But again, it has to be a scale issue.
Okay. All right. So thank you, sir. That was really, really insightful, and we learned so many valuable things that I'm sure the social stakeholders will also understand and probably incorporate in their CSR projects also. So thank you, sir, once again for giving us this opportunity.
It's always a pleasure, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thanks a lot.